beautiful friends. How are you today? I hope you like my pink hair. Do you want to take a bite out of it? Doesn't it look like Starburst? It looks like darn candy. I want to take a bite out of it. Anyway, I do not want to ever give you guys a long intro because I hate when I click on a video and it's a long intro. I realize I'm doing it right now, so let's just jump into it. 5 things you should never do in any relationship. Okay? Number 1, don't get too comfortable. And by that, you know what I'm saying. Yes, sometimes we just have bad days. We don't wanna maybe just touch ourselves up a bit. I'm not just talking about girls, I'm talking boys and girls, men and women, doesn't matter. It makes no difference. Nobody wants to be with someone who doesn't care about their upkeep. I don't know, they don't shower, they never ever work out, they never take care of themselves, they don't have good hygiene or a good diet. They just don't care about themselves like that. Nobody likes that. So don't get too comfortable. Second thing is, pick your battles. You do not want to be fighting and arguing about every little thing, because then it just becomes that you're just annoying, and nobody wants to deal with constant annoyance. Guy or girl, does not matter, once again. So pick your battles. Not everything is worth a fight, and some things have to be spoken about. So you want to make sure that you don't just pick at every little thing, but you also don't want to let every little thing go, because in relationships, we're always, I don't know if this is the right word, but we're always training one another. We're always teaching one another. Like, this is what I'm okay with, this is what I'm not okay with, this is what you're okay with. And we're always compromising and trying to come up with a nice middle ground. So in doing so, you have to make sure that you don't bother each other, you don't annoy each other too much. But you just don't want to deal with, it's like life is too short. I don't want to be fighting all the time. Come on. Third point is, find a great method for how you and your partner deal with when you guys have an issue. For example, Kevin and I have a 20-minute rule. So he's the type of person that needs space when there's an argument, when there's something, a disagreement, whatever. He needs space to think and to gather his thoughts or whatever, just some breathing time. I'm the type of person that I need to talk to you right away. I need to finish it, fix it, like what I need it to be over. And the longer that it takes, the worse the problem becomes for me. So in being so different, we had to find a middle ground for us where he can feel comfortable enough that he has some time for himself, and I also feel comfortable that I'm not just like, everything is not adding up and becoming worse and worse for me. So we came up with a 20-minute rule. I get to know what time we're gonna talk and when is like the end of his alone time or his whatever, thinking time, whatever. Not only can I have that comfort, but he can also have that comfort where he can have some time to cool down to whatever, and our time that we decided on is 20. Yours might be different. Just you guys figure it out, what's the best for you, and make that your plan of action for when things are not perfect, because that's inevitable, it's gonna happen. So you want to have a plan of action, ultimately it has truly made us fight a lot less. We don't argue much, knock on wood. I don't have wood. It's allowed us to just communicate way better, and I just absolutely love it. So I recommend coming up with like some kind of action plan for those times ahead of time, so that at those times it doesn't drag on and on and on and on, and nothing is solved, nothing is happening, everyone is upset, everyone's frustrated. And sometimes when you're too frustrated, you just don't even want to deal with it anymore, and you might end up saying or doing something that you might not have done if you just had maybe taken some time or whatever. Fourth point is, always put the other person first. And this is something that both parties have to do. It has to be a both people thing, because if only one is doing it, eventually the other is gonna get feel taken advantage of, and all kinds of horrible emotions that just don't do the relationship any good. So if you guys both put each other first, even at times where maybe the thing that you have to choose for the other person might not be the best thing for you, even at those times you have to be selfless. In a good relationship, you have to be selfless. Both of you have to be selfless, not one. If it's one, it's not going to work. It's just not going to happen. You have to be selfless. You have to want the best for the other. That's truly when a great relationship is made. Really, if you can't want that, if you can't need that in your life, I truly believe that your relationship will never progress and become the best that it can be, and also last throughout time. You always want to make sure that you let your partner make their life choices and decisions on their own, and so that they never end up resenting you, because honestly, resentment is something that most of the time you can't get over, and usually it ends up being the end of it, the end of the relationship after the resentment happens. Trust me, I've experienced it. It's just not a good thing at all. So yes, it might be hard to just let someone be and let them decide and make their decisions for their life on their own, especially if you feel like you might get neglected. What if they end up leaving? What if, what's gonna happen with you guys? Just trust that if your situation with that person is important enough, that situation will be maintained one way or another. And if not, then that's an answer too, It's always a good thing, because at the end of the day, everything important is prioritized, and there's no need for ultimatums or selfishness of any kind that way. Last but not least, my fifth point for the things you should not do in a relationship is don't ever try to be someone that you're not. Always be true to who you are, because at the end of the day, if you're not, how will you ever know if what you have is truly real and works? Because if you're not being yourself, there's only one of you, one unique, amazing you, and that's it. And nobody can compete with that. Nobody is that. So just like you're not anybody else, If you're true to yourself, then the right person will always stay and the wrong person will always leave, as it should be. You don't want the wrong people to stay. And that way you'll truly never miss out on anyone, because you are just you, unapologetically you. And you'll also never lose out on anyone because you weren't you. You know what I mean? That happens too a lot of times when we're maybe not ourselves, because we're thinking about what does the other person like, or what do they want, or whatever, and then we're not being us, and then as a result we end up losing out, if that's even considered losing out, but you know what I'm saying, on that person or that situation, because we weren't really ourselves. So it never hurts to just be you. Don't be anybody else but you. Trust me, you're awesome. You don't need to be anybody else. Anyway, I think you get my drift. I don't know why I have this freaking itch on my back. I hope you found this video useful. I hope these tips helped you in your relationship. I hope that whether you're in a relationship or you're not, I hope that you're happy in life and with yourself, because ultimately that's all that matters. At the end of the day, it's just you. It is just you, only you. Believe that. Believe that. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed our third? I don't even know. I think third. I hope you enjoyed our third coffee talk together. If you're new to my channel, join the fam. I used to be a redhead. I'm a pinkhead now. P.S. My name is Emma. Oh, do you like my hair? Do I look like an anime character? Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with me, man. I feel very sassy with this hair cut and color. Very sassy. Sassy.